But as I got older is when I started like, like after I divorced, obviously, I started, okay, maybe holding everything in is probably not the best idea.
Sure.
And so I started getting more comfortable being vulnerable and allowing myself to kind of like just let it out. Cause it's like, what do I got to lose? If this person's not going to accept the fact that I feel this way, then you know what? Maybe this person's not meant for me anyway. If I can't be my genuine self with this person, that person does, they don't deserve to be in my life. Welcome back to Just Weirdly Blended. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Tom.
And Thanksgiving's coming up, folks.
Surprisingly enough,
up fast.
Halloween apparently happened at some point, and here we are at Thanksgiving.
Last week. Halloween was last week.
Yeah.
That's how it feels,
and the day before that was 4th of July. I seriously, the fact that it's going to be 2024 in a matter of weeks, and I am still getting used to writing 2023. So I don't know if this is like a time warp.
It does feel like that way. Like something, I don't know. This
whole
year, and it's the last few months I feel like has gone by like in just a snap.
Yeah. Do you think that's when you know that you're like officially older? Like
probably
getting to that point of like, well,
every day just old. Blends in.
You're just like so busy. Because like, up until like 15, maybe even 18, maybe even 21. I don't know. Like time moves so slow. Right?
Dude, in my 20s feel so...
Like, how long did it take you in your head to get to 15 years old? Forever, right? It was like an eternity. It was the time from the beginning of the universe until this moment was like that amount of time. And then from like 15, 18, 21, whatever number is in your mind to this moment in time is like...
when I noticed it started going fast is after high school, right? When like becoming like an adult kind of kicked in, like officially. I just remember in high school when I started high school, like I don't know who it was, but they said like, and I don't know if it was like a teacher or something like, hey, 4 years.
Yeah, probably we're very wise people.
It goes by fast. Yeah. But in my head, I'm like, it's fucking 4 years. It's gonna go by so slow.
Very first class I ever took in high school, the teacher that he was the football coach. He wasn't like the most.
He was a dumbass.
Intelligent of all. I'm not saying he was dumb, but he was more
the
into
PE
football.
Teacher.
He actually wasn't. He was a government history teacher, but he was more into football than he was into his class.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, like, you could tell where his heart was.
In the game.
But he said one of the most insightful things I ever heard, and it's the same type of message. First day of class, first class of high school, he said to me, and everybody else in the class. It wasn't a personal thing.
He's like, hey, Tom, come here.
Come here. I got some news for you. Your life's going to fly. No, he said these next 4 years are going to be fast, so enjoy them. Did I enjoy them? Did not.
No,
Just let them fly away.
They go, but like after high school, like I swear things just kind of like sped up slowly.
Yeah.
And then there was that portion between like in my 20s that was like, there's those little small snippets of your life.
There's like,
I wonder if that's the shit you see when you die. Like you get snippets of your life, they say when you die. Like for reals. I don't know. I'm starting to talk like a Mexican chick. Latina, hey. We've been watching Orange is the New Black, and there's a girl in there. She does a podcast, and she's Mexican.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like for real, like it's crazy.
Which gal is it? Because there's a couple
like
of
super long hair.
Yeah. Okay.
She comes across kind of ditzy.
Well, I can't remember what her name was in the show.
Flaca.
That's right.
Flaca.
Yeah, she's funny in that show. It's been several years.
Her friend I liked too, though. Mm-hmm. I like those two. They're funny. They made me laugh.
She's a cute girl.
Oh, they're both bad.
Yeah. So
anyway. Diane Guerrero is the other one, but she's in a show that I'd like called Doom Patrol.
Oh yeah,
her name's like Crazy Jan or something like that. She's a good actress.
There's a one gal too that's like a mom, or she's mom age in that show. She's a gal with like the real short hair that works in the kitchen. She cracks me up too. And Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
She's
the Mexican mom.
The attitude. She puts her hand on her.
Yeah, she's still in it. Like we're on the last season right now.
Yeah.
But no, like high school, it went by fast.
Back to the
snippets of life.
Prison, high school.
But you get these little snippets of life. They say when you died, and
right.
So all of a sudden, I'm in my 40s, and it just I don't know where the 30s went.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying? That portion of my life just seemed to just was last week.
So I'm still in my 30s. I'm about to be
why.
38, but yeah, I mean the 30s have flown. The 20s, like the end of 20s went pretty fast.
Yeah.
But you're right. There's definitely like phases of time, like high school. And then for me, like I went to college for like 5 years. So it's like college. And then there's like purgatory. And then there's meeting Blanca.
Purgatory and just nothing.
Like everything. I was like figuring out my shit and all that. And like, yeah, I definitely see what you mean. And I wonder too, now that you're saying that, do you know where you're going to go? Like if we go somewhere when we die, do you know based on whether or not it's like a montage with music and film, or if it's just like the click, click and another picture?
Mine's going to be like this.
And another picture.
I just picture the TV like the static.
Static, yeah.
And then it's my life. And then and then it ends.
Yeah.
And then all you see is a stupid, like the old school, off air.
Yeah.
That'll be that. My life's that's gonna be my snippet. Is gonna look like that.
I hope it's
montage like with music and shit would be sick.
See, do you remember like? Did you ever watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
Oh yeah.
Christmas is the time of year.
That's gonna be your montage.
Walk through the path. Yeah, I want music like that, and I want to be sitting there crying as I see all my life's memories go by, and everything's like pretty good, like you know, and then I just like. Hey, it. Jesus,
I'm here.
Like, I'm here. And then he's like,
no, you can't come in.
And Jesus is Sammy the Bull. He's like, no. You're not fucking getting in here.
No, he'd be cool though. He'd let us in. Hey, yeah.
Right, come on. You listen to my podcast? Come on in.
Yeah. You guys are good. You're in the family.
Yeah.
We listened to the whole thing.
I was there with you, Sammy.
It would be cool though. Like I do wonder what. I don't know. I think that's like one of those like things you think about is what's after, you know?
Yeah,
like
right.
Like you die.
Well,
are we right now living, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we're technically dead, and we're living that montage.
What if we're in the memories?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, what if we're living that like I'm dead, but I'm living this life over,
right?
And it's just like a repeated cycle.
Well, like so that's what's really weird. Is
and I wake up in the Matrix, and I'm seeing myself like, oh shit!
You know how it's all
futuristic
zeros and ones everywhere. You remember when we were talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson and like physicists and stuff, and like now, mind you, I barely understand physics at all. I took a physics class in high school, got like a B.
I didn't take physics in high school.
I did because I wanted to feel smart, and I am not smart, but I took the class. But when you listen to physicists talk online that like really know their stuff, like astrophysicists and all that, and they talk about time, and they talk about how like time is a perception, like literally a perception, and isn't a real thing because of the vastness of time.
Yeah.
So like although our moment exists in the scale of time, this moment versus another moment is so obsolete that time never really exists. And you think about that, and it's like for our egocentrism, like we're so I don't know. It's so scary to think like, like
that is crazy.
A second ago when I said the word that moment existed. It no longer exists. It's already gone. So when I said the a minute ago, that's gone. That'll never be back. And I'm going to say the again in a minute. And that time doesn't exist, but now it's there. That was the time.
Until you can go back into time.
But now it's past again. It's going to come up again. Ready? Now it's gone. You guys, it's insane. Time doesn't exist. No, it's. They
sound like stoners when they talk.
Man, like,
don't they?
You know the funniest
They're
thing?
like so smart, but they'll come up with these crazy thoughts that you're like, that's kind of weird. Like, how did you come up with that theory? Like, where did that come from?
One of the funniest stories of my life when I was young and stupid and thought I was going to get high, but didn't like to inhale things.
Mm-hmm.
I was drinking with a friend and tried something for the first time and didn't know that you really had to hold it in. So I was convinced that I was high. So I just started
You had the placebo?
Yeah. So I was talking like that. Like I was because that's what I wanted it to be. I wanted the experience to be like, now I'm a genius. Like I smoked this and now all of a sudden.
Man, what if time construct? Hear me out though.
I think I might have completely said those words verbatim.
The time construct is a reverse of what you think the time construct is.
And then when I succeeded in that, I realized that I would still try to talk that way because I like talking about that stuff anyway, but I would forget what I was talking about. And that's the problem. See, that's where I don't like that particular thing because I like to be able to think about what I'm thinking about. And my brain, I'm just like, oh shit, I'm going to lose it. And it goes away. I can feel the thought just leave my head.
You know how many times that's happened to me? Too many. Countless times.
Where you come back in your head and you're like, oh man, I'm still talking. Okay, am I making any sense?
Like, what am I saying, man? I don't even know.
And if I could record myself, I'm probably like repeating the same thing over.
I do wish there was a way you can record your thoughts. You know what I mean?
Like other than on a camera?
Yeah. Other than just like saying it, like internally like it can record.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can get those snaps because man, there's some shit I'd be thinking about that sounds so smart, or the way I'm speaking sounds
or like a dream that you have. It's like a genius dream, and then you wake up and like, God, I can't remember anything.
You can't remember it, or
I don't even comprehend what I was understanding.
I was telling Lacey actually about a dream.
Yeah,
and in my dream, obviously it was awesome, and I was like, oh, it was like a cool ass dream. And then I'm telling her about the dream, and I was like, it was way cooler.
Yeah,
in the dream, I can't even explain because I suck at explaining. So
sure.
And then I'm forgetting bits and pieces.
Right.
You just have to be there.
Well, do you ever wake up with a dream in your head and then all of a sudden it's like it's gone?
All the time.
Like, I had the coolest dream. What happened? Or you wake up and it was like a great dream and you're like, that was so smart. And then you start thinking about it, you're like, that made no sense at all.
You know what trips me out is the lucid dreaming that you hear about, like where you
can control your dream.
Yeah, because I think that would be sick.
You know what?
I don't think I've ever had that where I'm like, I'm in a dream, dude. You know what? I don't want that picture there. I want it over here. And it's just like,
right, like Inception.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm going to go break into a bank. Oh, I need this flipped upside down so I can get in there and get something.
Yeah. See, I wish I could do that.
Well, like, so I
don't know if that'd trip me out though.
I definitely am more of a believer. Like some people are like dreams are like projections of the future. I'm more of a prescriber of it's kind of like your mental state. That's kind of where I've settled my belief to be is like,
I can see that.
There's a lot of introspection you can do. They've talked a lot about our dreams being like video games, essentially, for our brains to kind of play out scenarios and practice for real life issues or crises. So I know for me, like, I feel I'm very good standing in the building I work in. I feel like I have really good relationships with everybody in my building. I feel like administrators I get along with really well. I feel very, safe with my people.
Yeah.
Like I feel like definitely after a few years working there, like I've bonded with everyone and I feel good. And so my dreams have really been shifting as I felt more at place and at home.
Do you have a lot of work dreams?
So I don't, but I'll have random dreams that would be like, like the violence dreams where it's not really like physical violence, but it's more like whatever emotional turmoil, whatever.
Yeah.
Forever, I've had dreams like we all have had where you can't run away.
Yeah.
Or you can't fight. Or you won't fight.
You never can fight.
I'm not a fighter. I'm not somebody that looks for fights or looks for conflict. I tend to want to shy away from conflict. It's like, most things aren't worth it in my mind.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
In my dreams, the craziest thing, I think I told you, I don't know if I said it on air, but a few weeks ago I had a dream and I guess I had seen a little bit of that Dahmer thing again.
Yeah.
So I had a dream where pretty much I was like in Dahmer's house, but it was like a little house in like my grandparents' neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I'm just like sitting in this armchair in his living room and it's kind of like the inside feels like one of those single wide trailers, right? And he's got this black Bible, like this old black Bible in his hand,
leather,
and he's like, and it's not him, but it's a guy like him. Like I definitely get the feeling I want to get out of here. And I wasn't drunk or anything, but like he was very adamant and forceful about like these biblical scriptures, and he started to say something to me in a way where it's like, you're gonna tell me what I want to hear, like, and I just told him like, dude. I was like in the dream, I couldn't believe it because I was very much like standing up for myself and like, no. And I like told him like, I don't think the way you think and you need to back the F off pretty much. And then I got up to leave and I could feel that feeling like he's going to hit me in the back of the head. Or like, so I got to like, so I turned my body. I look at him like, stay the fuck back. Don't come near me. Yeah. Because I will kick the shit out of you. Stay back. And I open the door. Well, he runs out after me. Like I'm in the yard walking towards the street and I hear his feet. Yeah. And I turn and he's coming at me. Yeah. And I punched him in the face. Yeah. And then like I start kind of kicking at him and I'm backing off because I'm not trying to fight. But what I hope I would do in real life, like not going to put up with your shit, but I'm also not going to like force something.
Yeah.
I just was like, warning, I'm like, back off, dude. Like, I will kick your ass. But, and then I like bailed. Well, I end up back in his place. Same scenario happens again. But the fact that I could fight back.
That's crazy.
You know, the weirdest thing when you wake up, like the self-confidence you have when in a dream.
Did you solidly like get a?
I punched him.
Like it wasn't the soft.
I have never made contact in a dream.
Yeah, no, in the dream.
And if in a dream, it's like I can't. I wake up feeling like I can't hit. Like I walked away from this dream in my real life feeling like I think I would know how to like. Because I'm big enough. If I hit somebody, they'd feel it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I'm not the best fighter. A guy that really knew how to fight would take me down. I'm not saying I'm tough. I'm just saying
you're gonna put up a fight.
Jeffrey Dahmer. I feel like. As long as he didn't drug me, I could probably stand my own.
I feel like, yeah. I mean, in the movie, at least, it looked like he worked out a lot.
All I'd have to do is, well, yeah, but he wasn't a big guy.
He wasn't
as tall as me, and he would work out like I would work out.
I feel like I'd be more psycho. I would drill him in the head.
Yeah, I'd be like...
No, but like...
listen to all the sick shit we do to Jeffrey Dahmer now.
In the dream, though, like, I always, if I do hit anything...
Yeah, it's like nothing.
It's like...
Like the weakest... Like, I go full force and then... Meh. No, I make good contact,
like, it's like swinging in water.
And
that's
I kept kicking at him and stuff, and like, I was doing this stuff, you know? I was fighting Irish to him. I was like, no, man, back off.
I don't know if I'd fight someone who fought that way.
Hey, come on! Why don't you bring it like a man?
I feel like they'd be so good at fighting.
They probably.
Oh yeah.
I had a friend in high school that like literally fought that way. He and my my other friend like fought for fun, but they were like sparring. I guess you'd say. He did. He was doing this stuff. He'd get really low. I kind of like do the foot shuffle. It was pretty funny.
How did you think? Like, wonder why that's like a.
Well, I only see it in like old like 20s boxing.
Sometimes
stuff,
you just gotta fight them, and then they're like,
right.
Like, obviously, I mean, naturally, it feels better this way.
People used to like war by standing in a field and like, bam, bam. We talked about right. So like, I think it was like maybe it was like a gentleman's fight.
Yeah. You know, I can imagine doing that.
Like, you can't really defend too much. You've got to kind of move your body. Like
or like
this.
Duels. Like people used to duel. That's
stupid.
so weird. Where they slap each other with the fucking.
Now we can shoot each other.
Yeah.
I've insulted you thoroughly. Now that I've slapped you with my... Can you imagine seeing a man like doing this to remove his glove? Hold on. It's coming.
It's stuck.
It's a little tight. It's a little wet today.
It rained this morning.
Sorry. Glove doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit.
Must have quit. But that's, that's crazy. That's how insulting it is.
Normal. We had a... Yeah.
You could punch him, and that's, you know what? Fuck you.
You son of a bitch.
You slap
Let's
me.
have a drink. But you slap me with your glove.
We're shooting each other.
Because you know what you're saying.
You're a beach.
You're a little bitch. Yeah.
You're a beach.
Like, you beach.
I know. Speaking of that, man, sometimes women, when they're PMSing.
Wait a minute.
When they get on PMS.
This is Jesse talking. That's not. Tom didn't say that. That was all him.
No. But, like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Sometimes, like, the girl, like my girl, I love my wife to death.
Right.
I'll do anything for the woman, but she can be very. I've never called her the B word.
No,
but like
we will remove that word for her.
Yeah, she can be, a bit much when the period starts.
Sure.
And it's weird how that happens, and like it's coming.
Sure, there are some cues for sure.
Yeah, all of a sudden they're like just raged out. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, because I think that's what was going on this week for us. And so I was like, hey, calm down, girl. Right. You need to chill. Like, you're on one. I said the other today at work, or not today, but it was the other day.
Yeah.
I was like, babe, you all right, man? You're kind of on one right now. Like, what is going on? And she laughed. She goes, someone at work, like a friend of hers, was like, man, you're being a real bitch. Said that.
We can't say that.
I won't say that.
Wouldn't say that.
No, yeah, I
but a girl
value my
girl
life.
With her friends can say that. That's a different thing. Yeah.
Like actually, no, the girls could tell us we're dicks. Never mind. I was like, I tell this guy, hey, Tom, you're being kind of a dick right now.
Right.
But then, no, girls.
No, she calls me an asshole all the time. But no, it's definitely.
I don't know where I was going with that, but
well, I had a similar scenario,
but
yesterday,
the whole fighting and.
But I mean, it's like
being slapped around. I don't know. Just thought about
being slapped around. Hypothetically, with a glove, not by our wives.
Not by our wives.
They're
we're okay.
They're peaceful women, but no, it's tough. I think for guys, and I understand for girls. Like obviously, let's take that off the table right away. For girls, I get it. There's a lot of stuff going on internally. It's a very difficult thing that needs not be said. We're
the scapegoat.
At the same time, this one's for the guys. On the male side of that equation, we're human beings too. We don't enjoy being the problem, or being the receiver of it all the time.
Well, yeah, especially when
you can't just say like, "Honey, I think this is a time where maybe I should just walk away." This is the biggest issue I had yesterday.
Oh no,
it was a rough day. I mean, I could definitely feel the tension
building
there.
Yeah,
which I've made so many mistakes of saying at different times. I can't say that. But it was kind of one of those times like, I'm just going to go and start working on the wood stuff in the garage again because this isn't going anywhere. And I can just feel that I'm mad. You're mad. We're not going to get anywhere. But it's tough because, like, at least in my relationship, you can't leave and you can't stay. Because if we stay, this is just going to be you telling me how awful I am. But if I leave, you're mad that I'm not with you.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I know. Well, like you said, like there's that situation where you're both gonna talk, and eventually, like for me, if I'm getting told, all this crap, I have the tendency, which I've gotten better at, is I say stuff back. Well, yeah. I don't call her names back, but I'll defend myself in a sense. You know what I mean?
Well, I can't not.
Sometimes they just need to blow smoke.
Yeah.
So lately, like a lot lately, actually, not a lot lately, but lately I've been just allowing.
Right.
Trying
to better yesterday.
Trying to allow that smoke to build. There's still times that like hey, Jesus Christ, like I can tell that that time of the month's coming because she's just a little more on edge and everything.
Sure.
So she was just a little extra that day. She was just kind of just in a mood, which I get. I've woken up in the same way,
Sure,
where I'm just kind of
I have to
just grumpy for
days.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
everything pisses me off.
Right.
And so I just was like, hey, like I didn't do nothing to you. Like I know you're upset. Like stuff like, but yeah, I'm like, hey, I'm here. I gave her a hug. I ended up just hugging her. I was like, come here, man. Like, you all right? Like, come here. Just we're good. Like, you don't need to. You don't need to attack me. I didn't do shit to you. I get it. You're pissed. It's it's one of them. It's coming, girl. I get it. I mean,
but I'm not your enemy.
Yeah. I was like, I actually haven't done nothing wrong. What do you mean? Like it's a situation too where it's like, yeah, I can see sometimes where as a man we say things back or we do things, and so some of the stuff it's provoked, right? But then when it's like unprovoked, it sucks because. Sometimes you want to say something like, hey, but I guess it's all in the tact on how to say something.
Yeah.
And I'm very not tactful in that sense.
I'm not really either.
It's just, as soon as it comes to my head, I'm like, I blurt it out instead of like, let me just take a second to gather these thoughts before I blurt out these thoughts. Cause I'll say something and I'm like, God, why did I say that now?
Yeah. Well, the problem that we tend to run into, or like for me in my relationship with Blanca, I react poorly to her big ideas because I have to work through things. So like when I have a big idea, I've thought through all the steps. Mm-hmm. I've kind of played it out in my head because I'm a planner.
Yeah.
And so I know what to do. So then I get excited about the idea. She knows I'm that way. I know she's not that way, but tends to be that particular time of the month. Yesterday, for example. We went through, we had a day that was started out pretty nice, did some things together, and then it just kind of hit a point where it felt like the tension was there.
Yeah.
And on the way home, because like in the morning we went and we bought a bunch of extra lumber because I'm trying to build cabinets for our living room, like
they're
bookshelves
looking
and
good.
Things. So she really wanted that done. So in my mind, I'm like committed now, like, okay, I'm working my butt off to get ththese cabinets done as fast as possible. Like that's where my head's at in this moment, based on every indicator I have of what you're looking for. And now I'm, we've talked about it. I get my head set on like, this is what I'm doing. So I can't just flip a switch
It's not easy
it's
to
very
just do.
Frustrating to me to be like, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something else. So we're going home, and maybe I am the asshole here. So please be honest.
I think sometimes that can be very unmotivational. You know,
Sure.
like it demotivates you in a sense.
Right.
Sometimes when it's also when you have to switch, it's like
I just can't. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. I get my head's very specific, which is a tough trait. I'm not saying that's a good quality.
You're mad.
I'm just
stubborn.
saying that's part of my personality. So we went to lunch. We went and picked up some tools at my dad's house so I could come back and work on some of this stuff. And we're driving back. And so I kind of want to know what other people think about this, because I felt like I was kind of set up in a loving way. I don't mean it like she's this awful person.
Yeah.
I just think she, in her feelings, needed me to say the right thing. So she created a scenario to see if I would say the right thing.
Oh, okay.
Is really how I feel. And I could be totally wrong. But she goes, what would you think about taking a trip to Leavenworth? Or to, that area.
It's a 3-hour drive.
About a 3-hour drive.
Yeah.
And I go, okay. And to my credit, usually I'd be like, no. I was like, okay, like to hear out like it
was a positive
like, what is kind of. I mean, it was a questioning like, okay, like what for? What?
Yeah, why?
And she goes, she's been looking at these dog kennels. It's like a little outbuilding and the kennel connected, and people are selling them for a lot of money. She wants to recoup some of the money from the projects that we're doing in the house. So she's like, we could like easily get these pieces and sell them together and make, some of the money back. I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. Like, I don't know when I would do that. So if you want to do that, go for it. But I'm planning on making cabinets and things.
Yeah, because that's a whole nother project.
Well, because in my head, like, and in fairness to her, she hasn't done these things. She hasn't done the work of these things.
Yeah.
She's been participant in these things, but she's never been the one to physically do it. So I'm thinking like, my truck's not going to hold a 10 by 20 building.
Yeah.
Like that's going to take a much bigger truck. That's going to take a massive trailer. Like, or you're going to spend an entire day deconstructing this building to take it home, which isn't even built to be deconstructed. So I've done that math in like a split second. And I know this is going to be more than a weekend of work.
Yeah. This is going to take a while.
So that's like my defense of like where I was coming from. Her frustration was, can't you ever just be on my side and ready to just jump and do something? Like, I'm always on board for you. If you want a tool, I'm like, let's get it. If you want to do something, I'm like, let's do it. Anything that you ever want, I want to see you happy, and I want you to have it because it makes me happy. And you just can't do that for me. So like, I get that. I get that point of view. And I'm just like, it sucks. It's like, she's like, I'll come to that conclusion. Like I can think it through and realize, can't you just let me have that? Say yes, and then let me have that. But it's like this stuff always comes up at that same point in time.
Yeah.
There's other things going on that I can't bring up because it's like then I'm just blaming it on something else. But it just seems like we don't have these kinds of fights until there's a lot of other factors going on. But I'm like, so is that a horrible thing that I do that I really need to commit to changing? Or is that just something that's going to happen no matter what from time to time?
I think from time to time, I think those conversations will happen. Your response,
I think I need to work on the response.
The response, I guess, could be worked on. But even I get where you're coming from too, is where it's like, dude, I'm already doing this project for the house.
For us. That's not by no means I'm saying I'm doing this for her. I'm not. We both want this done. Like, I'm excited about this project.
Now, I got to pause this project to do this other project. Or
I'm just thinking like 6 hours of driving. How many hours it takes?
You're going to be, 2 days,
We got to rent equipment to do this. There's no way we're getting this thing done with my truck. So,
but I mean, I can see where she's coming from because I've had those same scenarios where like I just be like, no, I don't know, or I'll be like against it.
It is the negativity,
and that's what it is. It's more negative. But it's just that's like a trained thing to do, to try to change, because you're naturally just going to ask questions, right?
That's how I am.
You're just naturally that person. So
right. So she takes it like I'm negative towards her, even if she like buys something. She takes it like I'm negative towards her spending the money.
I guess it's just in the way you maybe say things.
Ask questions to get my head around whatever. And I really shouldn't. I mean, she has a right to spend money like I do. And I don't mean it that way. That's not the way I'm
I get it.
from. But I can see where she takes it that way.
Yeah, I can see. I think that's just something.
But that's like the core of all of our arguments now.
I think that's just something you like. Maybe in the way you communicate, maybe you need to work on. Like say something in a different way, but it's the same shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like just like
really struggle with that.
I don't know, but like that. Those are those like things you just don't. It's a habit of who you are. You ask questions. I'm the same way because I'll end up like I was saying earlier, the devil's advocate.
See, me too. I'm a big devil's advocate.
Because Alicia had a dream where I was on someone else's side or whatever.
Yeah,
I didn't have her back in this dream.
Oh, I've had arguments like that with Blanca in real life shit.
And it's like, and yeah, I've had the same
She's
thing.
always mad at me for being on your side instead of hers.
I was just gonna say because it's like I usually would this or that or play. Lately though, like if Alicia does say stuff, I'll just kind of like. I'll just let her say it.
And JJ just backs you up.
JJ will back me up too. I know he was just before the podcast. We started a little late today.
We did.
And Alicia's like, "You're taking in my time. You should have been home by now." Or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I laugh, and then JJ goes, "Mom, how's he taking your time?"
Did she have an answer?
No.
Did she laugh?
She laughed.
Okay.
We both laughed. She's like, "Well, because he should have been done by now, and we could have been hanging out." And then when she, states her case, JJ obviously is on Mama's side.
Well, Dad, you see, you're taking her time.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Oh yeah, yep. Mom's right.
Yeah. Well, we were going to have Brian on this morning, and then I sucked at reaching out to him this week. So probably next week, hopefully. But
that works for me.
I'll talk to him, get that all settled. He has a lot of stuff to I get it sounds like things have been going pretty good.
Yeah, I see him on Facebook post stuff and it's on the Facebook side it looks good.
Nice. Good. Yeah. But, he sounded pretty positive on the things he wanted to talk about through the text. So we were gonna try to talk, but obviously we have conferences at work. So I'm busy at work. It's been insane at work. And then trying to build cabinetry. My time got away from me this week, but
I mean that's normal. My week went by quick. I think I was
really
just
quick.
Friday was the only day I went to Yakima, and then other than that, I was like at the house.
Yeah.
And then next week's this coming week because Thanksgiving's coming up.
I know.
Freaking! I just have 3 days of work.
I have 2 half days. I work. So this is the funny thing about teaching is anytime the kids aren't there, it's like my brain doesn't think of it as work.
Yeah.
Because like a quiet day of just getting work done or like even conferences does not feel the same thing as work.
Is it more, is it kind of nice?
It's very different. I love working with the kids. Don't get me wrong. Don't take it the wrong way, anybody. But it's just, it's like performing.
Any stay-at-home parent knows that it's...
Yeah, I mean, you're managing...
A time away from the kids is nice.
This year I have 23 kids, 23 first graders. So imagine...
All little assholes.
23 6-year-olds. No, they're great kids. But imagine yourself leading 23 6-year-olds through 6 hours of a day and having to show that they're progressing in things.
No, I'm good.
It's a lot. So days where you're just kind of... I have a lot of conferences, but I also have chunks of time where there's actually time to get other things done.
Yeah.
Which to just sit and work on something.
Well, you can just throw some music on, listen to something.
Even if I don't, just silence. And just being able to sit there and think for 5 seconds about one thing. There's
something about silence that is just so relaxing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
But like, if I'm like around the kids all the time. So I couldn't imagine because being around kids every day, all day. Yeah. Like I'm around the kids, I'm at home, I work at home. So, I'm around the kids when I'm around them and hearing them fighting, being kids.
Right. Just kids being kids. Exactly.
There's times I need a timeout. I need a time away or step off. I need a quiet moment.
The more you deal with it, the better you get at handling it.
Well, I think I'm getting better. Before, like if the kids fought, I was always like, God damn it, what's going on? Like, guys, keep it down. I'm trying to work. Or it's like, lately I've been trying to like let them handle, which most of the time we do, let them handle their issues.
Yeah, right.
But if it's ever just like super crazy, I'm like,
right.
What the hell is going on? Jesus.
Right.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. I don't know.
No, it's yeah. I just feel bad sometimes. Like it's so hard to like put full thought into one thing because it feels like there's so much going on at once all day long.
Yeah.
So if you find that you forgot to say something to a parent, or like you sent a message out real quick, but you look back and you're like, that sounded really stupid.
Well, I mean, you're messaging like all these parents.
So it's 6 o'clock and I'm trying to get home and I've taught all day. It's like,
Yeah.
I was like,
I don't know. That would be weird, talking to the parents.
No, I love talking to them. I just every once in a while looking like, well, that was a big typo.
Yeah, oops.
Or like I had to send a work email to like our principal at night because I stayed late, got stuff done, and then I had to run to Walmart, and I realized I didn't ask this question I was going to ask for our team, our first grade team of teachers. So I didn't want to forget. So like I got onto my work email on my cell phone, which I usually don't do.
Yeah.
And then I'm in the Walmart parking lot trying to send this work email. Somehow the internet synced up in a way where the first half of the email sent, and I typed W for the second sentence. I had it all typed, but it only sent.
What the?
And then I clearly did not finish my email.
Yeah.
She didn't even respond to that. She just gave a great, nice response. But I'm like, I sound so stupid.
This is you're teaching kids?
It wasn't me. It was the stupid internet. But yeah, it's been that kind of week. I don't know.
No, I'm looking forward to these next few days off myself, just
some recoup time.
I love not doing nothing. But
I just love the holidays myself. Yeah.
I mean, you had been talking about you've been doing your cabinets and stuff. And so me and Alicia, obviously, like I had told you, I'm trying to get more, I'm trying to set goals for myself. Mm-hmm. I have a goal that I'm almost done with by the end of the year.
Nice.
And then.
Yeah. Big one.
Yeah.
Big goal. Yeah.
But I told Alicia, I don't feel like that's a goal.
Sure. It's like a life.
Like I quit drinking for a year. Like to me, that was my goal. Right.
Right.
But it's like, to me, I told Lisa, I was like, that's not a goal.
Do you think it started
that's
as
like
a goal
nothing.
And then turned into something else?
I think it started as a goal, but now it's like, I know it's not going to, I already know I'm going to do it, right? I know I'm not going to be just like, oh, going to the store. I'm going to go get me some drinks.
Yeah.
And so like I was telling her, I was like, like I had told you a few days back, like I need to find a new goal. And so my new goal was to like, get the kitchen finished. Right.
Yeah.
So I think me setting a goal it's kind of fun.
Yeah, sure.
Something to work towards. So I get why motivational people fucking talk about
assholes.
that. Yeah. Talk about set a goal for your life.
Right.
Right. I understand that because obviously. You make the most of your life, whatever, dude.
Yeah, whatever.
And
make the most. I love the way you said that.
Wow.
You're like, honest, that wasn't even a joke. You were honestly like, whatever, make the most of your life. That was pretty great.
My idea of the most is maybe not as motivating as others. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because, they're saying never be settled for what you have. Better. But I'm like, I'm happy where I'm at.
Okay, but there's also the flip side of the coin of like, be content.
I'm super content. And is there something wrong with being content?
Right.
Like, I think motivational people sometimes make it feel like being content's a bad thing. Where it's not, but like not being stale in your life is a bad thing. Right?
I look at it as like extreme capitalist motivation versus like just.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy. I don't need to sit there and make $1 million.
I have two motivators. I have like a dream life where I live in the biggest mansion possible with the yacht.
Sure.
And I have an equally desirable dream of just the tiniest house I can think of with nothing to take care of. I have like
that's
both,
mine.
Like a super simple life and a super complex life. Both seem great. So I'm just going to be happy in the middle where I'm at.
And but no, so we were talking about we want to get like, okay, we're going to set these because I told her my plan and she was like, okay, well, we should just let's get the kitchen. Like for us, I started the kitchen last year.
Yeah.
My motivation was there like yours is. Mm-hmm. And then, it slowly fizzled out because it's like snowed. It was cold. I have to walk outside. I had to go down to the to my garage.
Extra steps to get to
like I was telling you, a motivational person, fuck, they would have done that. So I guess I'm not that
to my advantage.
Yeah. I built the cabinets in the snow on it.
I feel like we could totally
but I was like, you know what? I'll just wait, which is a bad thing because
until spring.
When you wait and you get that moment, you're not doing anything,
then
you're not going to fucking do anything.
You move on. And then it sits there and then you start like overthinking it. You're
bro, I looked at them and I was like, oh, I got to redo all these cabinets. Because I did a lot of the cabinets.
Yeah, you said that. You're actually farther ahead than you thought.
Yeah. And I was like, but now we were going to like remove cabinets. But, you know, setting goals, that's our thing. We're trying to do goals. Both of us actually been working out. And
well,
not us, but like me and my wife have been working out together. Like,
okay.
Because she's been losing weight.
You pointed at me, so I thought I was a part.
So no, so I've been...
Yes. You and Lisa,
right.
you have.
I'm like, come on, let's go. Let's do a workout.
And I'm proud of her because there's been a lot of times where she hasn't jumped on that bandwagon. And it sounds like she's kind of committed now.
Yeah, she's doing a good job. And I'm like, babe, when I started, I was like, let's just do these exercises.
You just do a little bit.
I was like, dude, 20 minutes.
And when you start to feel good, man, then it's rewarding.
Well, she's wearing clothes she hasn't worn in years.
Yeah,
like, she goes, I haven't worn this. I've never wore this. Or like, oh my God, these are like super loose. I got to get different clothes, you know, like, but no. So yeah, you know, setting goals, it's probably important.
It's good.
No, setting goals is important. Like, so you started your cabinets and you started your floors, and that kind of motivated me because then I started like kind of like reflecting on my own, like, what am I doing? I've been playing video games a lot lately, or you know, I do things around the house,
which is fine. I think that's good to have periods of time where you're just laid back.
I'm a busy person. I keep busy. I do things like I cleaned up the yard. I like cleaned up the front, and I like it looks different. But like, I don't know. I think I just need that goal. And I think that's where everyone needs like a goal. It could be a year long. Like, and I think that's something to kind of remember is like, your goal doesn't have to be, okay, I got it done 2 weeks. I got it done a month. Like, you know, this is going to take a year. Yeah. I'm going to just work on it today. You know what? You know, this is my timeline, but my end goal is to, you know, I want this done. Yeah. Like, we want to wrap our beam and we want to do some stuff like that. And I was like, so setting those goals is, I don't know, it's important. It helps.
Sure. And you feel good when things get done.
And I feel good now. Like, I feel like I'm in a good headspace and I'm like, all right, let's get going.
Right.
You know, let's do this shit.
Well, I think those little things too have a compounding effect where like when, you know, you can feel good and convince yourself everything's okay. Yeah. But once you get a stressor in your life, it becomes not just that stressor, but every little thing that you haven't finished or that you're not satisfied with, it all hits at once. Oh, you know, it's all interconnected. So like if you have maybe something you're worried about regarding work, then subconsciously somewhere in there, the beam not being done is like crept in your head. Or whatever little piece of life you feel is out of place. That's another piece where you just I at least start to feel like everything's falling apart.
No,
everything's garbage.
I think that's a natural thing. And it's funny you say that because that's exactly the same. If something doesn't go right or like work becomes a little more stressful than normal, then slowly that snowballs starts rolling downhill, and it's like, oh God, I haven't done this. I don't do anything, and then you go, you know, self-deprecating, and you're just like, oh my God, I suck, and let's just sell the house. What's the point? Like I've gone down that rabbit hole where I'm just like, babe, what if we just sold this house? We don't have to fucking worry about anything. We'll just get one that's fucking done. And then I like think about the work, and I'm like, it's
for
not that
way
fucking
more money
hard.
And half the size.
JJ's like, how do you make money off a house? So I had to like break that down to him yesterday. Right. Because I did that yesterday. I was like, what, should we just sell a house? But I was more of a joke. Yeah. It wasn't like I wasn't down the rabbit hole. Rabbit hole. I fucking stutter when I talk sometimes. Sorry, guys.
He's very excited. Very excited today.
No, I got like a question of the week, but I also got like I don't know. I think these can tie into each other, but like. So we're on this topic of marriage still, you know. Yes. I was telling Tom, is there an expectation that marriages are supposed to be this grandiose, just amazing things? Do you think there's like this unrealistic expectation that that's how marriages should be?
I think,
you know what I mean. Do people realize? They're like, oh, I'm getting married. I'm so excited. This is awesome. We're married. Oh, I mean, but I don't know if people think about what that takes, because man, like to keep a relationship going, marriage is not fun always. Like it is fun,
but but it's work.
It's a lot of work. It's not like this it isn't this amazing, thing that's just crazy. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of like blood, sweat, and tears really into a good, healthy relationship.
Actually tying into what we just talked about, marriage and a home are very similar.
Oh yeah.
You can just live in your house every day, right?
Yeah.
And do nothing to maintain your house, just live in it.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, it's going to be full of garbage.
Yeah.
The garbage is going to rot the floor.
Mm-hmm.
The walls are going to start to get damaged. You might have a leak somewhere that causes water damage. Your roof's going to go bad. And eventually that's going to go into your attic area. It's going to go into your ceiling.
Yeah.
You might start having electrical problems. And over 50, 60 years,
you don't
your
want
house is condemned.
Yeah.
Right? Or flip side, have you ever gone into a house from the 1960s?
Live in a house in the 1960s.
It is so immaculately taken care of. Same original carpeting, original linoleum floor, original kitchen. We went into a house once, and I'm not getting off topic. I know it sounds like it, but this house
metaphors, baby.
Was old. I mean, it was like outdated, but it was so beautiful. You almost would feel bad renovating it.
Oh, because it was just so pristine.
Brand new. Yeah. It looked brand new. You can't put that kind of work into marriage every single day.
No.
Right. I mean, just realistically, life-wise. But like that's the part that I think people know. I think there's like a rational side of humans. We all know that it requires work. But the knowing it intellectually and then comparing it to that infatuation feeling that you have early on in a relationship, if you're at the point where you're getting married, most people are still kind of in that infatuation.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless you're like just doing it.
That infatuation like goes away after a while. Just like
it's not forever.
Just like going back to this house thing, you get the house, you're like, oh, this is awesome. I got this new house. But then you start seeing, oh shit, I got this leak.
Now the maintenance comes in. Maybe I don't want. Maybe we just sell the house.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we should just get divorced.
What happens when you have a bad argument and your wife? I don't know. It seems to be wives in my experience, but that's.
I would hope you've never been married to a man.
Why don't we? Maybe we should just end this. And she doesn't really mean it, but it's said. And it's like.
Yeah.
That's the maintenance. I mean, it's work. It really is.
It really is work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And a majority of the time it is happy. It is a great time, but there is those just when you think things are good, all of a sudden they're not. There's something gets thrown in there just a little bit. Life likes to mess with you a little bit, so they'll throw that little wrench in there.
Right.
Let's see how you handle this real quick.
Yeah.
So life will throw that at you.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know. I think that's just the way you learn as a person too, is just, okay, habit had always been acting this way, kind of still getting the same results. Maybe I'll try something different.
Right.
You know what I mean? Was that Einstein thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing the same thing over, trying to expect something different.
Yep.
And I mean, that's really the essential, that's kind of what happens in marriages sometimes is you get in your habits. She still says the same thing. You still do the same thing, or vice versa.
Well, what I brought up earlier, that's
exactly. I mean, it happens, but it's, now, is it slowly happening less and less than it used to?
Right.
That's where like that maintenance aspect comes in. Okay, yeah, it has been,
Right.
But every now and then that little water leaks through.
Yeah.
What I mean?
It does. And the question is, do you try to fix the leak or do you ignore the leak?
Yeah. You never ignore the leak.
That's the question. Because
that's the answer.
A lot of people do.
I know.
Because you don't care anymore or because you're just tired. So it's a question of, do you view marriage as a commitment, and do you honor what you originally thought? Or, I mean, fairly, have you changed? Do your views no longer line up with what you thought when you were younger? That's fair too.
And I think that does happen as you get older, as your views do change. Like I noticed, like for me, I'm obviously a little older, and I know I'm not the same person I used to be in my 20s.
Sure. Me either.
in a sense, me as a person, most of me is the same, obviously, but I've learned other things, and I've
your
learned
views,
to, like,
or even aspects
just my
of
attitude
yourself.
toward things, and just like certain things, as I got older, shit's got a little tougher on like the mental side of things, just because that's something I didn't deal with in my younger youth, you know what I mean? And so that's something that's kind of creeping in. That's part of the maintenance, right, of oneself, really. And but that can tie into marriage too, right? But I don't know, man. But that kind of does bring up the kind of like a question of the week, really, is what would be a main reason marriages fail these days? Okay. Is it the same as it failed back in the day? Or
so, like, statistically, like, if
like maybe back in the day it was they just didn't get along or whatever. Right. But now is it more like infidelity, or what's the main cause of marriages these days to fail? I still say like a communication is probably the number one key factor is my thing.
I think if you boil it down,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, communication and just not caring anymore,
letting yourself, which we've talked about, being vulnerable, allowing yourself to be vulnerable with your partner. Right. Sometimes, like, that's probably, to me, one of the harder things is just like kind of letting go.
Yeah.
Just being like, kind of, sometimes I gotta be a pussy, and or whatever.
But and the fair thing is, there's a lot of fear in doing that, because when you don't have the right partner, that doesn't work well.
No, yeah, and that's it. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, like with Blanca, the fascinating thing is she's probably the toughest person I've ever been with, in the sense of, like, she's not a soft person.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But the thing is, she allows you to be yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
She's shocking that way.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Alicia is the same, but she's always allowed me to be myself, even if she doesn't like it.
Encourage it.
Yeah. Sometimes she doesn't. Yeah. Sometimes she's accepting of it, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, no, but like,
Jesus.
I think our go-to, no matter how, like, I'm an open-minded guy. I don't think I'm like the traditional, like, guy where it's like this way and that's it kind of thing. But, to show your own vulnerability. I can be that way about other people, but I'm very kind of closed off from myself.
Yeah, same.
So if there's a time where she knows I'm not dealing or feeling something, there's pressure from her, like, to just do it, just let it be open and just do it. Mm-hmm. And that's when you know that you're with the right person. Is
that's nothing.
When
Windows.
Hey guys, sorry, I'm updating. Is when you have somebody that pushes you to do the thing that's best for yourself, even when you're not sure how to do that for yourself. Like,
yeah, no, for real. It's like I think that's how I knew, like, Alicia was the person for me, is because she did kind of push me to do things that maybe I didn't feel comfortable or I didn't know I was capable of. And it's not like she, like I said last week, it's not like she's just forced me to do these things. It's just I just even if she didn't, like, it was a natural thing to want to do too.
Well, and I think that's kind of the beauty of relationships change. My cousin and I were talking about this the other day. In the beginning, there is that infatuation piece that carries you. Over time, you're not going to have that intense infatuation.
You're going to have a love,
but you have all this experience together, and you have memories, and you get to a place where there is more of that authentic encouragement of,
I don't know, it's like,
to be yourself, to you can open up in a different way than you would have even during the infatuation period. You're still worried about doing something that
I'm going to fart.
I don't want to look stupid. Or, when you get older, I mean, or I shouldn't even say older, because I'm sure it's the same when you're in your 50s or 60s. Maybe it's different. I don't know.
I think that's normal. Is that, like, you go to like you say, you're in that infatuation stage, so you're just kind of like, you still have your wall up, but you're still like, oh, she's so cute, I love her, blah blah blah.
And that's the thing, is, like, it's funny when you're as deep in, we're both decade into our relationships, marriages, and it's like, I can still look at her and be hit with the physical attraction again. Do I see her that way every second of every day? No, because we live a life together all the time.
Yeah.
So whereas in the beginning you see it every second because you just get to stare at this person.
You see them all the time, so it's different.
But like, when you're married every single day, you take it for granted sometimes, but you can still, if you have a base attraction to somebody, you can look at them and see it, and it comes back to you.
Well, I think like it's deep. It's a deeper love when you stay in a relationship longer. Not even married or not. Marriage realistically is just a paper.
Yeah,
it's just a
harder commitment to break.
It's a commitment. Yeah, it is a lot harder to break, but it's something you both chose. It's something that's what it is. But like in a long-term relationship, I think the recipe is the same, where you need to talk to each other. You need to let each other be vulnerable. You need to allow your person to be themselves, and there always has to be some kind of an attraction there. Like you said, there's times you'll get hit with damn, like, and I do the same thing. I'll see Alicia and I'm like, oh damn. Like we were doing some stretches yesterday, right? Or no, we were doing planks. And so we're kind of facing each other and I'm off to the side and she's wearing her just like a normal spaghetti strap halter top thing.
Yeah.
So, I saw some cleavage and I was just like, how you doing? I was like, I told her, I was like, man, I need to take a picture. She's like, you're so dumb. No. Yeah. And then she lift up and she, she's on her elbows, doing the plank. She's covering up. But I still get these attractions where I see my wife and I'm like, I lust for her still. I still have this lusty feeling. I always tell her that's a feeling I don't think for me personally, I was like, I think that's going to always be there for myself because there's something about her for me that I just always just really find attractive. And so do I always see it? No, there's times I want to choke her, but then there's times I'll really kind of, I want to choke her, you know what I'm saying? There's two different types. And it's just, that's where it's like in a relationship, sometimes it's tough. It's fucking annoying. It's fun and it's awesome.
You're right in the sense of that communication piece. When you get to the point where you're not communicating anymore, when your feelings, both people's feelings have gotten hurt to the point where you're not even willing to try anymore. Yeah. That's where that physical attraction can die.
Oh yeah,
because there's so much emotional issue going on. The physical doesn't have a chance.
Yeah.
You obviously were attracted enough to want to be with this person at one point.
Yep.
So. And that's that physical part.
Like when I was younger, I was like Elena, where I would keep things in. And to a point, I'm still that way, where I kind of bottle a lot in. I let it rise up a little bit.
Sure.
But as I got older is when I started after I divorced, obviously, I started, maybe holding everything in is probably not the best idea.
Sure.
And so I started getting more comfortable being vulnerable and allowing myself to kind of just let it out. Cause it's like, what do I got to lose? If this person's not going to accept the fact that I feel this way, then you know what? Maybe this person's not meant for me anyway. If I can't be my genuine self with this person, that person that I don't, they don't deserve to be in my life. Because I value who I am. And if they can't value that, then what's the point of this relationship? It's not going to work. If each other's not, you're not valuing each other, or if you don't value yourself at that time in life, shit's not going to work.
Yeah.
You got to be in the right. There's a space you got to be in.
It is a commitment from both sides. You're right.
It really is.
You're right. And the maturity.
It is.
If you're an 18-year-old kid who's absolutely in love and you're going to get married and you do it. I mean, I have an aunt and uncle that did it and they're still together and they've had a beautiful life. It can work.
Oh, for sure.
But I'm telling you, I mean, like you said, the 18-year-old me, the 26-year-old me, the 30-year-old me versus me today.
Yeah. Dude.
I mean,
and then Blanca might know, I'm a different person than I was when I was with her, right?
Sure.
And I told Alicia this not even that long ago, she's different than she used to be.
Right? I have seen a huge difference in her from when I first met her.
Yeah. And Alicia is the same way. And I've heard it from her family is when I got with her, they're like, man, she's calm. I'm like, what do you mean? She's normally not like this. Even when she was with their kids' dad, she was always on edge, or there was a high strungness. And can she be that way sometimes? Yeah. But I don't know. Yin and yang is what I told her. Yeah. And I told her we're yin and yang, right?
That's how Block and I are. We're opposites.
Well, she was literally yesterday, was it yesterday or something? We were working out She was wearing a black shirt. I was wearing a white shirt. And I looked at her and I go, hey, look at us, yin and yang over here.
look at us. The WSU and the UW.
Which was not planned, to be honest with you. I just bought this.
I didn't even go to WSU.
I didn't even go to UW. My sister went for like a quarter or something.
My brother went to WSU. This is actually a sweatshirt that Blanca did. Yeah. This is a sweatshirt he didn't want anymore. And
my buddy Nick. So he went to WSU.
Yeah, WSU. I feel like I went to WSU because I went there a lot on the weekends.
No, I've had this sweater for a long time. I just was like, I'm going to wear this today because I bought my beanie and I show up and I walk into the back door and Tom's comes around the corner with this on and I looked at him. I'm like, look at us.
I was I was in the closet. I'm like, what sweaty am I going to wear today? And I pulled this one out. So yeah, great minds.
It is great minds. We've done this so long already.
I know.
Look at this relationship. That's
telling you guys, no matter how tough it can be,
it sinks.
We got a great friendship going on here. So we're,
yeah, we do.
For everyone listening that knows this, sorry, going to say it again. We're the two guys in this blended family, and we've found a great friendship together. So it can be done.
Sometimes I think we're kind of the glue.
Yeah, I think so.
That holds that.
Our girls both have strong personalities.
They do.
And every once in a while.
And there was a moment there where they had this issue. When we did our family pictures, there was a whole thing with that.
It was not avoidable.
It was wild.
And I hate the conflict, but
I hated it.
Yes.
No, I hated it. Like, I was just like, but I was also kind of like, that was one of those situations, though, in the relationship where it was hard because it's like, on one end, I see where both parties are coming from.
Right.
And I lean towards a different party than I should have. Right. But it's because I don't know.
You are in the most difficult situation.
This is so awkward, though. but my wife, after she kind of like things worked out.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's the thing with the relationships is there was communication there.
Right.
Like on their end, on the wife's end.
Thankfully it did come up. Thankfully, it was a conflict. The conflict was allowed to exist, and it was dealt with.
It was, and they both dealt with it because, like grown adults, and they talked to each other
and hidden. I mean,
it
never would have been dealt with.
You don't know how happy I was to see that there was this conversation that went between them.
Yeah,
when I saw that, and I was just like,
I couldn't believe it when it was done because there's
such a good relationship.
She's hyperbolic. I was like, this is never going to end.
Oh, and
then she's like, yeah, we're good now.
Alicia's stubborn, where she's just like,
yeah.
Well, if you don't want to, then I don't give a fuck. No, she's that way.
Girls are pretty strong that way.
Like Alicia won't say something.
Blanca will. Blanca can't help herself.
But Alicia, like obviously, said Alicia will say something, but she's not like, if someone doesn't want nothing to do with her, she's just like, whatever.
Yeah.
And she's stubborn in that sense.
Right.
But like the fact that they talk, the fact that this blended relationship's not always easy.
You have the hardest position, I think, in the whole thing. But
it worked out. It was. I don't look at it that way, but I did.
Well, you have a wife and an ex-wife.
I know.
I have a wife
that you got to back up,
and I want the family unit to be good. And,
it's totally same. Yeah.
But you have to balance between Alicia and, for Elena's sake, you are in a position where you also have to consider Blanca. That's a tough spot to be.
So in this scenario, which was, when you think about it, not that. It really wasn't a big issue. It was just got bigger than it needed to be, right? And I know everyone's like, "What's the issue?" But you know what? I ain't gonna say.
We could. It's not a big deal.
No, it's about the photos.
We took family photos.
Yeah,
One person didn't like
what was it?
One person didn't like the photos. The other person felt upset because she planned the whole thing and felt like it wasn't appreciated.
Yeah.
So both sides just needed to come together. And honestly, it probably just one of those built-up things. They just need to blow and then be good with each other.
I think what it was too is it was the views.
It was too strong views.
It was. I don't know. I think if there was just communication there at that moment, it wouldn't have went the way it went. Like, I think one meant it in a non-disrespectful way when another, it looked disrespectful. And I that's where I was like, I see where she's coming from, though. You know what I mean? Like, because I would have taken it in that. I would have had that same reaction. Maybe not. I would have not said anything, but because that's just who I am. I just don't say shit. But I'm
glad that we have two women that
They were good.
Luckily, they're yin and yang enough, and yang, yin, yin, whatever. They're this enough alike and enough different that I think they have a way.
They have a respect for each other and a love there.
At the bottom of end of the day, I should say, not at the bottom of the ninth.
At the bottom of the ninth, top of the fourth quarter,
they want everything in a good place,
and they do.
And I'm glad that they're not. I've never had a personal issue with you, so I've never had that scenario. But
I don't think I could see that happening.
I don't think so either. It was awkward. I mean, just
bro, it was
knowing
awkward.
that there's like shit going on. I never felt awkwardness towards you, but it is that moment where you're like, "What's going on?"
I gotta go pick up the kids over here. It felt awkward.
We're not allowed to be friends.
Yeah. So that movie.
What is that?
With Kevin Hart?
Yeah. Where he's like, I can't talk to you.
I can't talk to you right now. Yeah. He was like the stay-at-home dad.
Yeah, we chose her side. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But no, but the fact that they were able to like communicate, like we said, like they had that communication there, and they worked it out. And
to quote The Dark Knight,
it was awesome.
It's always darkest before the dawn.
Yeah, it is.
Like if you're in a blended family and you want something to work out, just know if it's super bad and you want it to get somewhere better, maybe a little olive branch, maybe.
I don't know.
But it just depends on. We luckily are in a family situation where I think we see ourselves as a family.
Yes.
We're not sister wives or anything over here, but like.
But no, they're like
we look at it like we've got these kids that have grown up.
I look at him like a brother, so we're
right.
You know what I mean?
Like we're kind of a big family unit, and so we live our own lives. We have different ways that our families go about things as individual families, but as far as us working together and participating together, I think we do a good job, and I think the girls feel that is important as well.
And I think part of the issue was I think that time of the month happened, so like. Emotion, so hormones was at a peak.
No comment.
I don't know though. No comment.
I don't know.
I commented, but no comment.
Jesse's the one that bringing this up. I
was just thinking about it right now. My intrusive thought popped in my.
It could be my intrusive thought. No, sorry, intrusive thought. No, my wife's gonna become Sammy the Bull now. No,
that's not what happened. No, I'm glad it's over.
Me too. Well, and on that note of family, I hope everybody has a fantastic Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah. Happy Thanksgiving.
Great week coming up. The kiddos are going to be home for a few days. Enjoy some family time.
JJ
Take a moment.
Doesn't have school tomorrow.
Elliot doesn't. I do, but it's a long day.
That's why JJ was like, do you think he could spend the night?
I'm sure he'd want to. You see if mom's okay with that.
That's why I asked. I'll ask. I'll be the one to be home. I'm home, so I don't care.
Yeah.
Because they don't do nothing but play. And
I know. They get along pretty well. If they ever do get in a fight,
there's just certain things I got to tell JJ sometimes if he makes himself something to eat. I'm like, dude, get something. See if Elliot wants to eat. And then I sometimes tell Elliot, like, Elliot, you've been in my house long enough, dude. This is your house.
Just go eat
I was like, just grab something out the fridge.
Yeah.
I always tell him.
Luckily, we don't have to tell JJ that. They both come up whenever they want to and they grab something.
Yeah, which I'm glad JJ will do that.
He's good.
But Elliot, he'll get water. He's like, can I get? I'm like, dude, you don't need to ask me for water. Get some water. Go.
It's kind of weird to me that he does that because
he hasn't done that in a while. But I've told him that. Like, if you're hungry, man, just grab something to eat, man. We got chips. We got stuff here. We don't maybe got your guys' snacks, but
we haven't lately. We've been so busy we've forgotten to go grocery shopping.
We went to Costco.
We need to go to Costco,
bro. Costco Saturdays,
Lord, before Thanksgiving.
Alicia had told me a couple weeks back, three weeks ago, a month ago, we need to stop coming to Costco on Sundays or Saturdays. I was like, I know.
But when do you go?
Right, especially around noon ish. Right. I'm like, I know. Right. Following week.
There you are.
Where are we? Costco, noon.
They're gonna.
She's like, damn it, we weren't supposed to come. I'm like, I know. The week after, same thing. And then this week, I was like, babe, look, we're going to Costco. It's fucking 10 though.
Yeah,
we're gonna be all right. Nope.
It's in psychology.
It wasn't as crazy
effect.
But I was like, I'm hungry, so I ate some like pistachios. I don't want to get hangry because that's my problem when I go out shopping. Is I shut down once I'm hungry.
When I can't take a full stride of step, it does something to my psyche where I get really, really like hot and frustrated.
Yeah, I was like,
if I'm like stopping and kind of,
luckily it was a little not crazy like that. I can see it happening, but No, I have to eat because I'll be grumpy. And then, so I was just snacking around Costco.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Before we end, there was a guy, they have the food vendor guys there giving Costco. And he was like, this is the world's best mac and cheese. And I was like, oh my Lord.
Did he have a red and white striped jacket with a little,
I know. Come right up and see my monkey eat this cheese.
Ladies and gentlemen, the craziest mac and cheese you've ever seen. It's the cheesiest, the macaroniest.
He's sitting there talking about this mac and cheese, and I'm like, and it's a couple of like Hispanic fellas, and they don't speak much English, and they're just like me too, like, dude, just fucking shut the fuck up.
Give me some mac and cheese.
He's like, you know what, guys? You're lucky that I don't have spoonfuls of this in my mouth right now. I'm like,
wow.
I literally laughed.
Which is what he was going for. So he thought
I was like, that is so stupid. And then so he doubled down.
You're lucky that I have 2 spoonfuls in my mouth.
No. He was so dumb and so cheesy that it made me laugh. That's what makes me laugh. It's so It's so terrible that it was funny.
Yeah.
But
that's nuts.
It was so funny. I laughed so hard. Like, this guy's tripping. And then Alicia heard him because like, you got to hear this guy. So we walked by and she's like, oh, I see what you're saying.
Same comment again?
No. But
guys, look at this. He's shoving like, spoons in his mouth.
He's like, this mac and cheese is the best mac and cheese on planet Earth.
In fairness to him, was it good?
It was good.
It was pretty damn good. He was lucky I didn't have spoons in my mouth.
He's like, I didn't have 2 spoonfuls. He's lucky I didn't put his hand in my mouth.
Though? Why would you be lucky that he did? You're lucky I didn't eat all this? Is that what he was getting at?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
It's that good.
It's so good, I can't resist.
It was funny.
How heavy was the guy?
He wasn't. He was a young kid.
He's lying.
He was like, he wasn't heavy. He was like my heavy.
Yeah.
So he couldn't be like I could probably eat a lot of it. I'm making mac and cheese.
Nice.
For Thanksgiving. So I know it ain't the world's best because I'm making the world's best.
There you go.
But yeah, no, I'm making mac and cheese. I always make it. But
well,
anyway.
On that note, I hope everybody has a great week, a great Thanksgiving coming up. Again, enjoy your family, hug your kids, and hopefully you have great days off. Hopefully you're not working on Thanksgiving Day. If you are,
that sucks.
Find something to be thankful for.
Let me know, and I'll bring you some turkey.
Anywhere in the country, this guy will come.
I'll ship you a turkey.
Continental United States.
Yeah, I'm like Santa.
Read the fine print.
Anyway, have a good one.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Have you seen that little girl? Yeah. That's so funny. That's a motivating little girl. Bye.